All right, so this should be in your notes for adding and subtracting polynomials. So we're just going to start with a little vocabulary, and this is some of its review. So a polynomial is an expression with one or more terms. If the expression has exactly one term, it's called a monomial. And this all comes from the chart that we have. A polynomial that has two terms is called a binomial. While a polynomial that has three terms is called a trinomial. Okay, so then a polynomial usually are any four or more, but they're all considered polynomials. Okay, the different parts or pieces of a polynomial are called the terms. Okay, if those terms have the same variable and the same exponent, they are called like terms. And this is when we combined like terms. We did this at the beginning of the year, and we did this even a little bit with, we worked with exponents. If the term has a variable, the number multiplying, so the number directly in front of the variable, is called the remember it's the coefficient. The coefficient. And if the term does not have a variable, it's called a constant. All right. All polynomials expressions should be written in standard form, meaning that the terms are placed in descending order, which means they go from highest to lowest, so descending. Okay, so again, so let's look at some of the vocabulary examples. So this says determine whether each polynomial is a monomial, binomial, or trinomial. So here we have 1, 2 terms, so this would be a binomial. Here we just have one term, so this would be a monomial. And here we have 1, 2, 3 terms, so it would be a trinomial. So it's classified based on the number of terms. Now, here it says determine whether each of the following pairs are like terms. Write yes or no. So are these two like terms? So the variables are x and the exponents are 2. So this would be a yes. We have the same variable and the same exponent. Here, my variable is x here, and my variable is y here. So our variables are not the same, so these are not like terms, so no. Here we have 8x and 2x to the third. My variable x, those are the same, but this variable has a 3 attached, and this one does not. So these are not like terms, so that would be a no as well. And then if we look at D, we have an x over here and an x over here, and a y over here and a y over here. So these are considered like terms because we have the same variables with the same exponents, and there are no exponents, but we do have all of the same variables. So this is a yes. So this is all kind of review. This is getting you set up to add and subtract polynomials. Okay, so now number 3 says, for each of the following expressions, identify the coefficients and the constants. Okay, so we said the coefficient is the number in front of a variable. So my coefficient here is 7. And my constant is a number that sits alone with no variable. We like to include that sign in front. So my constant here would be 1. It's a positive 1. Let's look over here. My coefficient here, the numbers in front of my variable, is -4. So -4. And my constant is 0. I don't have a constant here, so I don't put anything there. Here, my coefficient, I don't have a coefficient because there is no variable, so I don't have a number in front of a variable. But here my constant is -9. -9 stands alone. All right, so here my constant, my coefficients, my numbers in front of my variables. And we have whenever we have a variable by itself, we assume there's a 1 in front of it. So whenever there's a variable with no number in front of it, it does have a coefficient of 1. So in this case, our coefficient is 1 and -5. So I'm going to put 1, -5. And then my only constant here is my 4. So my constant is 4. Okay. So again, my coefficients are the numbers in front of my variables, and my constants are the numbers that do not have a variable beside them. Okay, so here's a little bit more practice of the standard form. So here, remember, we have to put this in standard form. And since you've been doing this, I'm just going to do it quickly. We have my highest exponent here is a 2. So it's going to go first. So I have x to the second minus 2x minus 3. And my degree is that 2. That's the highest degree. So it's the degree here is 2. Standard form here would be -7x plus 8. And my degree here is 1 because remember my x has a 1 attached to it, so it's to the first degree. And then finally, the last one, my highest degree is my 4. So I'm going to start there, and I have -9x to the 4th minus x to the 3rd plus 6x squared plus, oops, I don't know why I wrote an 8, plus x. Okay, so again, it goes 4, 3, 2, and 1. And remember, it doesn't matter the number in front. Even though -9 is the lowest coefficient, we're only looking at the exponents. So it goes in order from greatest to least as far as exponents go. And the degree is the highest exponent, so the degree here is a 4th degree. Okay. So you guys know how to do this. I'm just going to do we're going to do 2 together, and then we'll go through. So remember, this is where I like to highlight. So I like to highlight all of my like terms. So I have a 7x and a 4x, and then I also have a -3 and an 8. And don't be confused just because these are in parentheses. They are being added. So we're just adding. We're just adding 4x plus 7x. And so that's going to be added together. And then negative 3 plus 8 is going to be added together. So I get 11x plus 5. And in standard form, just in case we need to rewrite it, it would be 11x plus 5. That will be the answer. 11x plus 5. So again, I can't combine those two terms because they're not like terms. So that's the end of that. Now, let's look at one that has a minus sign in it, because a minus can sometimes throw everybody off. So what we're going to do with this minus is we're going to go ahead and rewrite this, and we're going to distribute that minus sign, or it's a -1, to everything. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3x minus 4 minus 2x minus 6. And now I'm just going to highlight my like terms. So I have 3x and -2x. And then I have -4 and -6. I like to rewrite it. 3x minus 2x minus 4 minus 6. I'm going to combine this and I get x. I'm going to combine these terms and I get minus 10. And this, is my final answer because I cannot combine x minus 10. And it is already written in standard form. So when you do this, you're just simply going through and combining like terms. We've done this all before. So go ahead and do that. We don't need to worry about number 13. Just do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Be careful with number 9. There is a minus sign. So I'll just go ahead and show you that this needs to be -1 and it needs to be distributed. And then over here, we have a -1 that needs to be distributed to all of these terms. Let's see, and I think that this negative would be distributed to these bottom terms. And this is just setting it up a little bit differently. We can do one of these together. We'll do this one together. So all we did here is we just, they just set it up differently in that they put all the like terms like this. They stacked them, which is fine. Either way works. And we get 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. And that would be, oh my goodness, that would be our final answer. It's already in standard form with our highest exponent first. Okay? So go ahead and give those a try. Turn that in for notes, and then you will have a practice worksheet on adding and subtracting polynomials. Again, let me know if you need help with anything.